Welcome to Psych Insight, where we view the world through the lens of psychology. Our mission is to arm you with knowledge and strategies to navigate the complex terrain of the human mind. Today, we're delving into a topic that affects us all: habits. Why is it that some habits are so hard to break while others are so hard to form? Can we really change our habits, or are we stuck with them for life? If you've ever asked yourself these questions, stick around. You're about to embark on an enlightening journey, one that could transform your life. If you find this content helpful, please share, like, and subscribe to join our community and stay updated with our latest insights. Your support helps us continue to provide you with valuable content. So, without further ado, let's dive into the fascinating world of habit formation. Thank you for watching. Why is it that starting good habits feels like climbing Everest while maintaining bad ones feels like a walk in the park? It's a question that we've all asked ourselves at some point. The answer lies within the complex layers of behavior change: outcomes, processes, and identity. Imagine a three-layered circle. At the center, we have our identity, the core beliefs about who we are. Around it is the process layer, representing what we do, our habits and systems. The outer layer is the outcome, the results we get. Most of us begin our journey to habit change by focusing on the outcomes. We set goals, like losing weight or reading more books. However, this approach often leads to frustration and failure. Why? Because it's like trying to fix a leaky boat by constantly bailing water without ever repairing the hole. Instead, we should start from the inside, from our identity. The beliefs we hold about ourselves shape our actions. If you believe you're bad at technology, you're likely to struggle more with tech-related tasks. On the other hand, if you see yourself as a reader, you're more likely to pick up a book in your spare time. But how do we change our identity? It's not as daunting as it sounds. The key is in our habits. Every action we repeat is a vote for the type of person we want to become. If you want to be a writer, start by writing 1 sentence a day. If you want to be a runner, start by running for 1 minute a day. Gradually, these small actions will start to shape your self-image, and you'll find yourself naturally drawn to the habits that align with your new identity. But remember, it's a slow process and there will be setbacks. Don't be disheartened. Keep voting for the person you want to become, and you'll see the change. So, to truly change your habits, you need to start with your identity, your core beliefs. The journey might be challenging, but remember, even Everest is climbed one step at a time. But how do we change our identity, you may ask? Well, it starts with your habits. The concept of identity-based habits is a powerful tool that can be used to shape our lives. It's not about changing the results of what we do or even changing the actions themselves. It's about changing the core beliefs that drive those actions. It's about changing who we are, at our very core. Imagine it like this. If you were an actor, your identity would be the role you're playing, the script would be your habits, and the performance would be the outcome. You can't deliver a convincing performance without first understanding your role and your script. Similarly, you can't change your habits and outcomes without first understanding and changing your identity. Now, you might be wondering, how can repeating actions contribute to my self-image? Well, let's think about it. Every action you take, no matter how small, is a vote for the kind of person you want to be. If you decide to go for a run, you're not just burning calories, you're also casting a vote for becoming a healthier person. If you choose to read a book instead of watching TV, you're not just gaining knowledge, you're also voting for becoming a more intellectual person. And it's not just about the big decisions. Every small choice you make, every tiny action you take, is a step towards a specific direction, a step towards forming a new identity. Let's take an example. Suppose you want to become an artist. You don't become an artist overnight by creating a masterpiece. You become an artist by consistently practicing your craft, by making art a daily habit, by slowly but surely casting vote after vote for being an artist. So the key takeaway is this: if you want to change your identity, you have to start with your habits. You have to take small, consistent steps towards becoming the person you want to be. And remember, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's not about having something, it's about becoming someone. Remember, habits are not about having something, but about becoming someone. Now that we understand the role of identity in habit formation, let's delve into the mechanics of how habits are formed. A habit is essentially a behavior that is repeated so often that it becomes automatic. The brain, being the efficient organ that it is, identifies patterns of behavior that solve problems and provide rewards, then works to automate those behaviors. This automation process frees up mental energy, which can then be allocated to more demanding tasks. Now let's break down the formation of a habit into 4 steps: cue, craving, response, and reward. The cue is the trigger that initiates the behavior. It's a hint that there's a reward on the horizon. For instance, the smell of fresh coffee in the morning might be your cue to start brewing a pot. Next comes the craving. This is the motivational force behind every habit. Without some level of desire or want, we have no reason to act. In our coffee example, the craving might be the anticipation of that first warm sip. The third step is the response. This is the actual behavior or action you take, whether it's mental or physical. Here, the response is brewing and then drinking the coffee. Finally, we reach the reward. This is the end goal of every habit. The reward not only satisfies the craving, but also serves to reinforce the cue, making you more likely to repeat the habit in the future. The reward in our example is the satisfaction and energy boost you get from drinking the coffee. These 4 steps together form what's known as the habit loop. This loop is constantly in motion, making habits automatic and ingrained in our daily lives. In essence, a habit is nothing more than a well-oiled machine, consistently running through these 4 stages. But how can we use this knowledge to our advantage? Welcome to the 4 laws of behavior change. These 4 laws form a framework for creating good habits and breaking bad ones. They are the pillars that hold up the temple of habit formation and change. Let's delve into each one of them and their inversions. The first law is the cue, the spark that ignites the process. To create a good habit, we need to make it obvious, put it in our line of sight. For breaking a bad habit, we do the opposite. Make the cue invisible, out of sight, out of mind. The second law revolves around craving. To create a good habit, we need to make it attractive. Create a positive association that pulls us toward the action. To break a bad habit, we need to make the craving unattractive. Highlight the negative consequences and push ourselves away from the action. The third law is all about the response. For forming a good habit, we make it easy. The less energy a habit requires, the more likely it is to be performed. Conversely, to break a bad habit, we make it difficult. Create barriers and obstacles that hinder the performance of the habit. Finally, the fourth law, the reward. To create a good habit, we need to make it satisfying. We need to feel the immediate gratification. That's what our brain craves. But to break a bad habit, we need to make the reward unsatisfying. Delay the gratification and make the consequences of the bad habit immediately apparent. These laws and their inversions are not standalone solutions. They work together like gears in a clock, each one turning the other. They are a system, a loop that feeds into itself, creating a cycle of habit formation and breaking. By understanding and applying these laws, we can make the process of forming good habits and breaking bad ones much more manageable. So, we've journeyed through the world of habits, identity, and behavior change, but what are the key takeaways from our exploration? Firstly, we've learned that our habits are deeply interwoven with our identities. We often find it challenging to start good habits and easy to maintain bad ones because we're focusing on the outcomes, not our identities. By shifting our focus towards identity-based habits, we can truly change our behaviors. This means aligning our habits with who we want to be, not just what we want to achieve. Remember, every decision you make, however small, is a step towards a new identity. It's not about having something, it's about becoming someone. Secondly, we delved into the mechanics of habit formation. A habit is an automatic response to a specific cue, driven by the desire for a reward. This cycle of cue, craving, response, and reward forms the habit loop. Once a habit is formed, it frees up mental energy for more demanding tasks, making your life more efficient. Lastly, we examined the 4 laws of behavior change, a framework for creating good habits and breaking bad ones. To cultivate good habits, make the cue obvious, the craving attractive, the response easy, and the reward satisfying. On the flip side, to break bad habits, make the cue invisible, the craving unattractive, the response difficult, and the reward unsatisfying. These laws provide a practical guide for reshaping our habits according to our desired identities. In conclusion, the power of habits in shaping our lives cannot be overstated. They form the backbone of our identities and dictate the direction of our lives. By understanding the science of habit formation and applying the 4 laws of behavior change, we can take control of our habits and steer our lives towards the identities we aspire to. Remember, the power to become who you want to be lies in your habits, so choose them wisely.